my traffic every time I merge onto this freeway.
Ever feel like your motorcycle gear was designed by someone who's never ridden anything more dangerous than a scooter at Disneyland? You're not crazy. Gear quality is going downhill faster than a drunk unicyclist. From flimsy armor that couldn't protect a marshmallow to jackets that cost more than your bike but can't survive a slide on the gravel, it's a wild mess out there. In this video, we're exposing why modern motorcycle gear is getting worse and how to avoid dressing like crash test bait with zippers. Let's gear up properly. Let's look at the major reasons. Reason 1. Fast fashion meets motorcycling. Fast fashion hasn't just hijacked our wardrobes, now it's crashing into motorcycling like a novice on a track day. Brands are scrambling to produce gear that looks slick, trendy and Insta-worthy, often at the expense of actual protection. You'll find jackets with neon accents, faux carbon fiber panels, and yes, even USB ports. Because clearly, what we needed most in a crash scenario was phone charging. The problem? These designs often come stitched into fabrics that wouldn't survive a game of hopscotch, let alone a 60-mile-per-hour low side. The focus has shifted from safety and durability to mass production and visual appeal. Corners are cut on materials, construction, and armor, turning what should be life-saving equipment into expensive cosplay. Riders are lured by the look, unaware the gear might disintegrate at the first sign of pavement. It's fashion over function, and unfortunately, the consequences can be more than just cosmetic. If you're digging this breakdown, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next gear guide, and drop a comment if you've ever been fooled by flashy gear. Reason 2. Online shopping woes. Online shopping, a modern miracle until you need to trust it with your skin. Scrolling through sleek websites, you see jackets glowing in 5-star reviews, modeled by people who look like they've never even sat on a bike. The price? Unbelievably low. Literally. Because often, that's exactly what the quality is. Unbelievable. Behind the glam shots, many brands are counting on the fact that you can't touch, stretch, or inspect what you're buying. You can't feel if the fabric's tougher than tissue paper, or if the armor's legit or just cleverly folded foam. And abrasion resistant? Apparently, that means slightly thicker than a yoga tee. Too many riders are getting fooled by buzzwords and bold claims, only to end up with gear that couldn't protect you in a pillow fight. While online shopping isn't the villain, blindly trusting it for your safety gear is like playing roulette with your epidermis. Reason 3. Certification confusion. CE-rated armor. Sounds official, doesn't it? Like your gear's been through a NASA-level test chamber. But here's the kicker. Not all CE ratings are equal. CE Level 1 offers the bare minimum protection, while Level 2 is what you want when your body meets the asphalt. Yet some brands get sneaky, slapping CE approved on their tags without saying what was tested, or even which part of the gear it applies to. Just the elbow pad? The whole jacket? Who knows? It's the gear equivalent of calling a car safety rated without saying if it survived a crash test or just bumped into a shopping cart. The confusion works in the manufacturer's favor because most riders assume CE means top-tier protection, but without transparency on the rating level and application, it's just fancy jargon wrapped around foam pads. Always dig deeper before trusting those 3 letters with your skin. Reason 4. Cut rate knockoffs. Knockoffs, the bane of good gear everywhere. For every trusted brand producing quality motorcycle apparel, there's a shadowy operation churning out copycat products faster than you can say Alpine Stars with 2 L's. These imposters mimic the look but completely miss the mark on materials, stitching, and safety testing. They undercut real gear prices because they're not paying for R&D, quality control, or apparently zippers that work. Sure, that $40 leather jacket might look like the real deal, until it starts smelling like burnt tires and dissolving the moment it gets wet. It's the sartorial equivalent of wrapping yourself in paper mache and hoping for the best. These knockoffs prey on the budget-conscious riders, but when it comes to gear, the stakes are too high to gamble on fakes. Remember, if the price seems too good to be true, it probably is, and your skin is not worth the discount. Still with me? Awesome. Subscribe for more no BS motorcycle content, and let me know in the comments your go-to gear or biggest regret. Now for the good stuff. How to actually find gear that's worth your money and, more importantly, your safety. Number 1. Feel the fabric, if you can. When shopping for motorcycle gear in person, one of the best tests is the good old-fashioned tug and squish. Grab that jacket or pant leg and give it a firm pull. If it feels like it could double as tissue paper, put it back. Quality materials like Cordura, Kevlar, or thick leather have a distinct toughness to them. They're rugged, stiff, in a good way, and scream durability. These are the fabrics designed to handle slides, scrapes, and whatever physics throws at you on the road. Anything that feels thin, overly stretchy, or suspiciously light probably won't hold up in a real-world spill. Good gear isn't supposed to feel like gym wear. It should feel like armor, because that's pretty much what it is. If your first thought is, wow, this is as comfy as pajamas, that's your cue to keep looking. Number 2. Check the stitching. Stitching might not be the flashiest feature, but it's one of the most important. Cheap gear often skimps here, using single stitching that can come apart faster than a bad movie ending. What you want to see is double or even triple stitch seams, strong, tightly spaced, and probably reinforced. Good stitching holds everything together during a slide, while bad stitching doesn't. And when your gear falls apart mid-crash, so do your chances of walking away unscathed. Hidden or covered seams are even better since they reduce the chance of tearing from abrasion. Think of it like the foundation of a house. If it's weak, the whole thing collapses. So don't get distracted by flashy logos or shiny zippers. Flip the gear inside out and inspect those threads. They're what really hold your hide together when it matters most. Number 3. Verify armor ratings. When it comes to armor, don't settle for squishy foam masquerading as protection. You want CE level 2, as we mentioned earlier, the gold standard for impact resistance in motorcycle gear. This stuff is designed to absorb more energy and offer better protection than level 1, which is really just the minimum. Check that the gear is properly labeled with certifications like CE EN 1621-1 for joints and CE EN 1621-2 for back protectors. Don't be fooled by vague terms like CE approved with no level or test reference. That's like buying a healthy snack with no ingredients listed. Shoulders, elbows, knees, and your back should all be armored, and not with glorified kitchen sponges. Real armor is dense, molded, and designed to take a hit so you don't have to. Always check the tags, and when in doubt, ask. Number 4. Zippers and fasteners matter. Zippers and fasteners might seem like a small detail, but they're often the first parts to fail, and the easiest way to spot shoddy gear. YKK zippers are the industry gold standard for a reason. They're tough, reliable, and don't jam when you're suiting up in a hurry. Velcro should cling like a koala in a windstorm, not peel off after a week. And snaps? If they're plastic, that's a red flag. Metal snaps are stronger and far more durable. These components may seem minor, but they're often the best clues to the overall construction quality. Cheap fasteners equals cheap gear. Number 5. Trust reputable brands. Brand loyalty isn't just for sneakerheads, it can save your skin, literally. Names like Dainese, Alpine Stars, Klim, and Revit didn't earn their reputations by accident. These brands consistently invest in research, testing, and rider feedback to produce gear that actually performs in a crash. That said, don't blindly trust the logo either. Always dig into real-world reviews, especially from riders who've crash-tested the gear. Marketing can make anything sound bulletproof, but the streets tell the truth. A good brand is a strong start, but your safety deserves a little extra homework before you swipe that credit card. Number 6. Understand the price point. Okay, let's be real. If your riding jacket costs less than your weekend pizza order, it probably won't do much more than keep the bugs off you. Quality motorcycle gear is an investment, not a bargain bin purchase. Jackets in the $250 to $500 range aren't priced that way for fun. They reflect the cost of real materials, proper construction, and tested protection. Sure, you might find deals for $80 jackets with a dozen pockets and a race cut, but they're often more about flash than function. When it comes to your skin, buy protection, not marketing. Good gear isn't cheap, and cheap gear isn't good. Now let's talk about the real cost of cheap motorcycle gear. Sure, saving $150 on that budget pair of pants with abrasion-resistant marketing might feel like a win, until you actually hit the pavement. That's when you realize those pants tear like wet napkins, and suddenly you're the proud owner of road rash, hospital bills, and a limp that sparks awkward questions on every date. Not so cost-effective now, is it? Quality gear is like body insurance. It's not about looking cool or matching your gloves to your gas tank. It's about giving your skin, bones, and dignity a fighting chance when things go sideways. Want to save money and stay safe? Here are some pro tips. Buy last season's gear. Brands release new collections yearly, but last year's models are often just as good, minus the premium price. Look for real-world crash reviews. Nothing speaks louder than a rider who slid 50 feet and walked away. Forums and YouTube are full of honest, gritty testimonials. Try before you buy. A jacket that fits poorly won't protect properly. Armor should sit in the right place, not float around like a bad idea. Don't skip the legs. Too many riders suit up like Iron Man on top and go full tourist on the bottom. Proper pants and boots are just as critical. Your legs hit the ground too. Now let's not get gloomy. The future of motorcycle gear isn't all that bad. Brands are starting to listen. With innovations like the D3O armor, better CE standards, and a more educated rider base, things are improving. But it's up to you to drive that change. Support the brands that put safety first, leave honest reviews, share what's worked, and what failed miserably. Motorcycle isn't just an accessory, it's your second skin. And unless you've got a mutant healing factor, you can't afford to treat it like an afterthought. And hey, if you made it this far, congratulations. You're officially smarter than 90% of eBay shoppers looking for a motorcycle jacket under $30. Just remember, your gear's job is to save your hide, not just look good on your Tinder profile. So before you zip up something questionable, ask yourself, would this survive a fall or a strong breeze? Smash that like button if you've ever yelled at a Velcro strap. Subscribe for more brutally honest biker wisdom, and drop your worst gear purchase story below. No judgments, just laughs. Ride safe, ride smart, and keep the shiny side up.